Hey, it's Aaron from GameEnthus.com and looking at Skylar and Plux, an adventure on Clover Island. This is the Xbox One version of the game. And this is exposition.
Some say heroes aren't born. Heroes are made. I guess cliches exist for a reason, because our hero is just in the making.
That doesn't excuse the use of the cliche.
How's our test subject doing? Oh, well, look who's awake. Our little thief. Are you really so stupid as to think you could steal from the great CRT? Heck, I'm not even sure how you're still alive after that gruesome reconstruction. But hey, I'm not complaining. Once your brand new arm's complete, you'll be able to sucker punch people into orbit, baby. Now, if all this sounds a little strange to you, it's probably because I've started removing your memories. I know. A tad extreme.
Then what would it sound strange in comparison to?
Keep that pesky free will of yours, can we?
Okay, so yeah, the antagonist is the great CRT. You play as Skylar. You are an anthropomorphic, I don't know, cybernetic cat creature. So the beginning of the game, of course, runs you through the controls, the jumps, the double jumps, the little gems that you collect, which you'll understand what those do later on outside of replenishing part of your health. So a ground pound. You can swing. Swinging mechanic. This is all done with your arm. I'm not sure why anyway. So you're on the ship. You don't want to be on the ship all of a sudden. Yeah, you can understand why. And Skylar gets away. And I'm sure you've already guessed that that's Plux. And and then with the goggles and the, and the aviation hat, if you will. Pilot hat. You know what I mean. So, of course, the two cross paths. And Skylar is a silent protagonist. So, the arm does most of the talking for Skylar. So, the arm is like Medusa, and Skylar is like Black Bolt. Not really. So, you get to the world, you meet the elder. The elder says, hey, there's all these people who are like me captured. So kill yourself and don't help any of them. No. You actually do collect the gems or whatever to unlock the cages that the captives are held in. You'll see, I think it's like 100 of those things for each one. Collecting them and going back to the elder will augment your health. Will give you more hearts. So you are incentivized to certainly go after them. So one thing you might notice about the look of the game is, and I don't mean to say this pejoratively or like it's a negative, but it's going to come across that way. Oh, a jetpack. The game kind of has a PS2-ish visual appeal to it. It looks a lot better in motion sometimes. Well, no, when it's still, it looks better. Sometimes when it's in motion, it's some of the graphics are a little fuzzy on the edges and things. And it's nothing that's a showstopper. I think it's somewhat intentional. Perhaps it's a limitation of just the amount of resources the studio had. But I don't know. To me, that was not a knock against it. The controls are pretty good. Sometimes the camera can be a little unwieldy. The power-ups are interesting. You have a mechanic that allows you to reverse time, slow it down. There are some puzzles in the game. Nothing that I think would be too taxing, but they didn't slow the game down too much. I felt that when the puzzles came about, I don't know, that they were a nice diversion. I mean, you probably had done a ton of platforming and jumping and collecting things as you're wont to do in this game. But the puzzles were like a nice welcome diversion. Especially the time mechanics. I thought those were quite interesting. So you have the jetpack, you have the time mechanic, you have another ability that I'll show, but I won't speak too much on, just to leave you something to discover should you decide to play the game. The time stuff isn't overdone. It's not overused. I felt that the puzzles that dealt with it were, they're appropriate. There wasn't as if you went through a huge gauntlet where you had to do it over and over again. It was really taxing. So I don't know. I thought the game was pretty enjoyable. For some reason, that lava didn't kill me. I still don't understand why. As I said, some of the other objects in the world, you think you can jump on to get up to higher ledges. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. That was a little funky. Like, there's some jank to the game. I'll just be honest. There is some jank to it, but I enjoyed it. It's nice to see more 3D platformers being released, and in a world where we have a remastering of Voodoo Vince and you have Ukulele, it's nice that other developers, smaller studios, are deciding, not that those studios are huge, but are also deciding to dip their toe into the 3D platformer. It's one of my favorite genres. Like I said, this one definitely harkens back to more of a PS2 era style. Well, it's more about collecting and jumping and platforming than it is actual combat. But I like Skylar and Plux. I thought it was pretty enjoyable. I think if you can withstand the jank, you should give it a shot.